right, so here we are, back with 120, the film.
120 the film.
All right, I know, when I could see this movie as being a required movie, or even like in any high school classroom studying government, I think that this movie is perfect for teens. I don't know how young you can go. I mean, I know kids today are pretty savvy, but I don't know technically how young you can go with the movie. But I think that they could watch it. Or, like, you remember afternoon specials? That's what it reminds me of.
Oh, the after school stuff.
Yeah, it would be. I don't know if they do that anymore. Someone suggested maybe contacting Nickelodeon.
Really?
Yeah, you know. So this is how I'm thinking. I don't know. I mean, this is the things that I got from the movie, and I really hope ReW WhO and you guys can make a lucrative future. But let's talk to you for a minute now.
Hello.
So, do you sing?
I do sing. I grew up in a gospel church. So
You grew up in a church?
Yeah.
So he's the Jew and you're the goy. Is that it? She grew up in a church?
I prefer, what is it, Shiksagadis?
Oh, okay.
I had a Jewish boyfriend, he called me a Shiksagadis.
Really?
I like that better.
You are a Shiksagadis.
Cow.
It's true.
But, yeah, no, I grew up in a very mixed family and, you know, very poor. And I see that in...
Where'd you grow up?
Well, I'm a military brat. My mother was a Marine for 10 years.
Your mother?
And my father, but it's cooler that my mother was a Marine.
Wow.
A lady leatherneck, if you will.
Wow.
I was born outside of Pittsburgh. So.
Okay.
But, yeah, so I moved all over the States. But she's a great singer, too, so...
Wow. So did she sing a gospel... So you're a gospel singer?
Yeah, it's Pentecostal, but we didn't dance with snakes. Everybody always asks that. We didn't
They
dance with snakes.
didn't do that?
No.
I wouldn't have known.
No, I come from a very mixed family. My grandfather is black, my grandmother's white, and it's like super American. And I think that's what I loved about the movie so much. The last time we talked
The diversity about
the
it.
last
I
time
like that too.
we spoke to someone and they said, well, who's more American, you or Ayako? And I said, that's a ridiculous question. How can you say one American's more American than the next, you know? That's why we're great.
Oh, God, we
I
need
couldn't agree
you.
with you
We
more on
need
that.
you to run for office because that's so New York too.
Mm-hmm.
I know. Where are you
Yes.
from?
I'm from Philadelphia.
So you're both from Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
The opposite corners.
Mm-hmm. I'm from the more countryside.
I like both of those
Yeehaw.
cities a lot. I lived in Philly for a little while, and I have visited Pittsburgh on numerous occasions. I love both of those cities so much. And just sing one line.
All right, I'll sing just the first.
Okay.
Okay. I have a
Oh, Lord.
Oh Lord, won't you buy me a Mercedes Benz? My friends all drive Porsches. I must make amends. I work hard all my life with no help from my friends. Oh Lord, won't you buy me a Mercedes Benz?
All right.
Yay! See, that wasn't so hard. Okay. We want to talk more and more and more. Do you have goals for the movie? What do you want? Where do you want to see it? You heard where I want to see it.
It's weird to answer that question,
Yeah.
but I will. Like, when you write something, you think, people are always like, what audience do you have in mind? Or like, where do you want it to go? And you're like, I don't know. You're like, I don't know. It's just coming out of me, and I'm writing it for myself. And then all of a sudden, like, you're in this room and there's a director and a bunch of camera people and like a bunch of actors who are reciting these lines you wrote, and you're like, I can't believe so many people are seeing what I came up with. And all of a sudden, that's 50 people in that room, and then all of a sudden, like, you take that to the next level and it's all these people watching it. So that's the short answer, but the big answer is like, I kind of want everyone in America to see it.
Right.
Yeah. Why not?
Yeah.
I mean, you were saying, it has that like school potential. It could be like a book kids read, except it's a movie because we're.
Well, let me just tell you something. I had kids in high school, and I'll tell you that whenever they would see a movie in the classroom, they would come home and talk about it. When they would have regular school, sometimes they would come home, but rarely would they ever say what went on in class. But whenever a movie was shown, I can guarantee that they would come home and say, we saw a movie today, and whether they liked it or didn't like it, they'd talk about
They
it.
had an opinion on it.
Yeah,
Brought it up.
and when I was watching that movie, and there's a lot of government classes now in high school. They have classes I never heard of. Like, there's so many classes. Like, government, and they have Model UN, and they have all these things that apply to government, and that's why that movie like was screaming at me that it should be in schools. I don't know how to make that happen, but I really could see that being a movie that kids would identify with, whether they like it or don't like it. They would remember it, they would have opinions about it, it could encourage creativity in that movie, because it's all about like, what does change mean for you?
And I
To
couldn't agree
me.
with that more.
And you didn't even see it.
No, but I'm saying like
but
the
it
whole,
feels like you did.
but the whole like having a movie that has that kind of meaning behind it, something that, you know, without actually saying in words, puts that message out there.
Yeah, go ahead.
I just wanted to say that I think all the characters too show that teenage angst feeling, that feeling of I'm out of place here.
Right.
And you see that on different levels, you know, from
Yes.
the rich kid to my character, the man, Will Shepherd, who played my boyfriend. You know, I feel out of place. You know, like I don't belong here. So I think that's very much a
normal
teenage,
feeling,
yeah.
and it's universal, right?
But you also like, you don't just want it to be like something in schools, and
No.
every time I write something, it's like I'm still in that room and I'm still alone, and so. And like all of my favorite movies have been like Harold and Maude and Tales of the City, and like those movies about people that are on their own, and movies about people that like never read about themselves in school or never see movies about themselves made, and so I feel
Right.
like it's that kind of movie too. It's like my real wish is that, I mean, sorry, producer, if you're watching, like, I want everyone in the world to see it, but I also want it to be that kind of cult movie that, like...
Yeah, I can see it that way, though. I can
Yeah.
definitely see it being a cult movie. Easy.
From
Definitely.
the way you described it, it has that potential.
And
Where's it playing right now?
Well, we're having a screening for the movie on November 6th at the Branded Saloon for Sunday brunch. So we will be showing it, and I'm hoping you'll sing that day. Maybe.
Yeah, sure. Maybe.
A little bit.
Yeah.
Short set. And I might do one too. We can both have like a little set.
If we sing together,
Maybe a
I'll sing.
duet.
If we sing together, I'll
There we
sing.
go,
Well,
duet.
we can sing together and separate too. We'll see. We're going to talk about it. But it is November 6th at the Brandon Saloon, which is Brooklyn, and we will have all the details on websites and whatnot. All right, but before we leave, quickly, on ReW WhO, forget the movie for 5 minutes. We need a skeleton from each of your closets. And it is, do you eat candy? This candy, I promise, it's fine. It's good.
Give her two.
First your skeleton, and it's National Apple Betty Day, and this is wonderful, wonderful apple turnover Betty, whatever. So, skeleton from your closets.
You can go first.
I can go for it.
Yeah.
Then you've got to one-up my skeleton.
I don't know about that.
When you asked Black Vampire that, I was thinking of when I was living in DC, and like right when I'd become Orthodox, and Halloween was on a Saturday night. It was right after Shabbos, and I didn't know. I was having this whole crisis because like you're Orthodox, so you're not really supposed to like do anything Halloweeny. But I'm also like this like 20-year-old goth kid in living in DC, and like I have to do something Halloweeny. So as I'm like debating this all Shabbos long, like 25 hours, and then all of a sudden, like sun goes down, it's not Halloween anymore, and so I go out, I get grabbed by like this friend of mine, and like taken to this lesbian bar, and I'm still in my Shabbos clothes. I'm wearing like a white shirt and a black vest and black
That was
pants
your
and like, a
costume.
black hat. And so all night everyone was like, wow, you look just like a Hasidic Jew!
Wow.
That's cute.
That's
That's
awesome.
cute. Here, pick a trick or a treat at least in the skeleton bucket for Halloween. Sticker! But that's
Strawberry
a trick!
shortcake.
Yeah!
I'm so being strawberry shortcake for Halloween this year.
Oh, that works. That works. All right, your turn.
All right, I have a funny skeleton.
Good.
I don't really care that anybody knows, except my mom.
Alright,
When
Mom,
I was
this one's for you.
this is for you, Darvina. When I first moved to college, I was poor. My mom was like, "Oh yeah, go to college. Good luck." So I had no money, and I was like, a friend of mine was like, "Oh, you should strip. It'll be great."
Well, you're gorgeous.
And I was like, I couldn't do that. Oh my gosh, I couldn't. I would feel terrible about it. And so she was like, "It's no big deal." And so I went. and I did it for one night.
Did you make a lot of money?
I know, it was the worst strip club in town. I made like $60. The first person I sat next to was like, what are you doing? Why are you doing this? The second person I sat next to was a Hasidic Jewish man who said, don't you think God hates you for doing this? And then he asked me for a lap dance. And I was like, I quit. And I just left.
Now you can have your candy. Excellent. So please give the websites of the movie. How do people find it? You're adorable. And I'm sure that man's still thinking about you. So what's the website? Do you know it?
It is 120thefilm.com.
And is it ONE or is it one?
Oh, it's like 120.
Like Inauguration Day, January 20th.
Yeah, 120 was. I remember that day. It totally is a standout
It's a
day
great
of my
day.
life. I remember it very well. And I wish you all the luck. And I have a feeling we'll be seeing a bunch of you because I think we will. But November 6th at the Branded Saloon. Invite all your friends and come for brunch. And we're going to see the movie. And you.
Yeah. Mercedes Benz.
Yeah. We'll be back with more on October 5th.
It's time to excite you.